Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
This is awesome! Hello and welcome once again to Cheap Shot Entertainment. We've been to see a lot of wrestling this weekend, but there was also some big wrestling events going off in the Americas, the Northern Americas, the USA. I should say in the USA. Couple of really big shows. One on Saturday, the 14th, NWA Into the Fire, and if you have not seen NWA, go and watch it. The weekly show is free on their YouTube channel and it is fantastic. Don't expect any bells and whistles, although they did bring those out for their pay-per-view, known as Into the Fire. Also the name of their theme tune, sung by Dokken, who also sang Dream Warriors for Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. You can tell how tired I am, having spent most of the night awake. I woke up at 6:15 on Sunday morning, went all the way through till about 3:30, and then woke up at 8. Yeah, that's the life of me. Anyway, Into the Fire. Into the Fire. Sorry, I'm just going to stop now. Copyright strikes. I'm your host, Luke, and this is Into the Fire. Everything that happened at Into the Fire. I don't feel like a lot of people are going to be reporting on this. It is fantastic. It was a great pay-per-view, and we watched it before TLC, which paled in comparison to Into the Fire. Tommy Dreamer is joining us again. He seems to have the Naughty Elf, which you can name, by the way, so get your suggestions in the comments section down below this video, or tweet us, Instagram us, or Facebook us on social media. He seems to have a sharpshooter on Mr. Naughty Elf this time. They keep getting into some sticky situations. We've got Christmas lights out, it's all Christmassy, and I'm wearing my backyard wrestling t-shirt for this video. So, Into the Fire had some great matches on it. First match of the evening is Eli Drake versus Ken Anderson. Eli Drake is fantastic. Ken Anderson has put on a little bit of weight, we say, but still can go in the middle of that squared circle. It's filmed in the same building, in the same studio as their weekly TV show. The only difference here is that they have their entrances from the top of the seating area. So they come out from the top, they walk down through the crowd, and it's like a million Dean Ambroses or John Moxleys all at once. But they do have theme songs for this one. So yay, theme songs. A little bit of polish on this one. Don't think they're going to continue using those. There's no need for them to do it. They've got a perfect formula as it is. Anyway, great way to start off this show. Eli Drake versus Ken Anderson. And this one was, it was back and forth. They battled. They hit hard. And it ended up in the corner of the ring where Ken Anderson was attempting a sunset flip bomb from the corner after Eli Drake had put Ken Anderson on there. It would be Eli Drake and use his noodle. He would drop down onto Ken Anderson and pin his shoulders to the mat with all of his weight on them, his legs over the top of his shoulders, and hooking the legs. 1, 2, 3. Eli Drake is your winner. Great opening contest here. Absolutely fantastic. Good sort of 5 to 8 minutes worth of pure wrestling goodness. And the thing I really liked about this show is that it was just wrestling. There was no promotions. There was a couple of interviews here and there. But wow, great way to start off this show, and Eli Drake picks up the victory, and we would see that progress, that rivalry progress later on down the line. Ken Anderson's a bit of a tweener. Obviously he tagged with Boom Boom Colt Cabana, and the other week, and yeah, he's going against Eli Drake here. But like I say, we'll see him again later on in the show. Nick Aldous and James Storm have words. They come out to the podium, the interview podium, and have words with each other, and say what they feel and feel what they say, and you can tell these two guys really want those £10 of gold. Incidentally, the £10 of gold pin is available on the NWA store for 20 English pounds. Bit too rich for my veins, but it looks pretty damn cool. So there you go. We go on to a women's match next. Yes, a company that knows how to use their women properly. It is Tasha Steelz versus one of my personal favourites, Thunder Rosa. She's got the half face paint. She's Mexican. She's a cage fighter. She's had a debut recently, and yeah, she kicks ass. And she's also hanging around with Melina as well, which gets my vote because Melina's awesome. It would be Thunder Rosa who would pick up the victory in this one in a fairly one-sided sort of exhibition match, with Tasha Steelz having just signed for the NWA. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cough and a cold. But it would be a coup de grace to the back for Thunder Rosa on Tasha Steelz for the victory. Absolutely vicious and one-sided, and very impressive victory there for Thunder Rosa. So we are 2 for 2. These matches are absolutely fantastic, pure wrestling goodness, and they are great. I've really enjoyed this, and should be said that, you know, Connor, who you see on a regular basis on the channel, also a trainee wrestler, had his first match, first Rumble match yesterday, came in first. Really good showing from him. He is now converted based on this show. He will now go and watch free the NWA shows weekly. So go and watch those. They are fantastic. Possibly, I would say, last 5 before you watch this show if you are thinking of doing it. But so far, we are looking good. The Mongolian flag is brought down to the ring next by Aaron Stevens, who is accompanying the question mark and his karate into the ring, as we have the Mongolian flag ceremony in the middle of the ring. The question mark is going against Trevor Murdoch in this match. The question mark sings the Mongolian national anthem, and I think you should all put your hands on your hearts when you sing this, and it's he is rudely interrupted by his opponent Trevor Murdoch here, and he gets what he deserves in this match. How dare you interrupt the Mongolian flag ceremony? Absolute sacrilege there from Trevor Murdoch. And it would be the Mongolian spike to the throat of Trevor Murdoch that would pick up the victory for question mark. I'm a mark for question mark. And yeah, again, another really good match. Very, very quick match because Aaron Stevens did get involved. The Mongolian flag was decimated by Trevor Murdoch, which was awful, and that made the question mark angry because he has worked hard to get that symbol on his forehead, on his mask, many years. Pride and joy of Monrovia, and he will pick up the victory with that Mongolian spike. So 3 for 3. We are cooking with gas here, and we go into our first tag team match of the evening and our first championship match of the evening. It is the NWA Tag Team Champions, the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky and Robert, rock and roll, rock and roll, rock and roll, rock and roll. Oh, I love this show so much. I just want to squeeze it like a big floppy unicorn. Rock and Roll Express versus the Wildcards. Both teams would bring out respective insurance policies, shall we say. Hi, Robin. Yeah. So both would bring out insurance policies to the ring, and they would end up battling out and away from the ring during this match because they could not stay away from each other during the match. Homicide and I want to call them Dursleys, they're not. I've forgotten what they're called, which is terrible. I didn't write it down. Anyway, Rock and Roll Express. Wow! Another dive to the outside by Ricky Morton. Wow. Wow. What a match. I loved this match so much. Every single person in this match deserves absolute praise. The Rock and Roll Express are pushing 70. I couldn't even do a dive like that, like in my 20s, let alone in my 70s, and hit it and land on my feet. Just mind blown. Really good match. Can't say that enough. And the second most devastating move in professional wrestling today, the double drop kick from the Rock and Roll Express. That'll put anybody away. That put Brock Lesnar away. It put Brock Lesnar away, Samoa Joe, Rusev, Lashley, and they'd all go down to the double drop kick because it is the most devastating move in NWA. They would hit the double drop kick and pick up the victory, and they would retain their championships, and the Rock and Roll Express continue on with their championships. And it's just wow, what a story. Fantastic. I love it. Fantastic match. Really good. We next, as the Rock and Roll Express are celebrating with the crowd, they head up to the top of the stairs. Anderson attacks Eli Drake as he's coming out for an interview, so possibly to see what's going to happen next with Eli Drake. Anderson would attack and hits the mic check on the chair after beating the tar out of Eli Drake. Like I said, this feud is going to continue beyond Into the Fire, and so it should. These two are fantastic together, and just I can't wait to see where they go with that. But Ken Anderson stands tall, even though he lost the match to Eli Drake earlier in the card. Second tag team match next. It is Melina and Marty Bell versus Allison Kay, who is the women's champion for NWA, and the special guest partner of Allison Kay, ODB. Boom, bam, bam. That's it, isn't it? Bam. That's it. ODB. Yeah, this match was. I've not got a bad thing to say about any of this card. The more I think about it, the more I'm excited. I may even try and find a way of watching it again because it was on Woody's Fight TV. So good, so good. But it would be Allison Kay and ODB who would get a measure of revenge on Melina and Marty Bell. Of course, Marty Bell was former best friend of Allison Kay. Allison Kay wouldn't give her a title shot. This annoyed Marty Bell, and so we have the feud between the two. And ODB would hit the TKO on Marty Bell, so definitely a measure of revenge here. ODB would get a lot of the offense in this match. Allison Kay would be subject to double team maneuvers from Marty Bell and Melina. Melina wouldn't do very much. Of course, she's not on the shelf, but obviously getting on in her career at this point. Still can go. TKO. and yeah, ODB picks up the victory. Alison Kay and ODB stand tall. It is the National Championship up for grabs next. Your current reigning and defending champion is Colt Boom Boom Cabana, and he is going against Ricky Starks and Aaron Stevens. Silence! Do not make eye contact, and I really want to see one of his movies because they look absolutely awesome. Ricky Starks does remind me a lot of a young Dwayne Johnson, none other than, and Colt Cabana is just awesome. Anyway, Aaron Stevens is awesome. This match was awesome. Aaron Stevens up to his usual antics. He obviously brought the question mark out to the ringside with him, and that would play into Aaron Stevens' hands as he would pick up the victory and the national championships. We said all the way through this match that the way they were booking things, they would probably mess with the NWA crowd and the people watching at home and give the belt to give the title to Aaron Stevens, and they did, and it was good. Aaron Stevens spent most of his time hiding under a sheet and falling asleep under the sheet before it was the Mongolian spike karate that would take out Ricky Starks for the win, as Aaron Stevens would come in, hit Colt Cabana with a move and pick up the victory. We have a new national champion in Aaron Stevens. No eye contact please, he is a movie star, and that is a fact. So we go on to the next match. Oh no, he gets the pin on Colt Cabana. Ricky Starks got taken out as well. Next match, and the main event of the evening, is the 2 out of 3 falls match between Nick Aldis, the current champion, and James Storm, the former national champion, who's been propelled into the main event picture. Now this match is a traditional 2 out of 3 falls match, but both men get to choose a referee. The first referee was Brian Hebner, head referee of NWA, and that he was chosen by James Storm. And Nick Aldis, because he couldn't choose Brian Hebner, chose Tim Storm to pick up the mantle for his fall, and that would be the second fall. The third fall would be decided as a referee would be decided based on a coin flip, which was done by a third referee outside the ring, and that's how we would find out who the third referee would be, the referee for the third fall. So Nick Aldis versus James Storm, and the first fall went to James Storm. He hits the last call on Nick Aldis. Brian Hebner would count the pin 1, 2, 3, and James Storm would pick up the victory in that one after beating Nick Aldis from pillar to post. Nick Aldis would get a little bit of offense in this first fall. It would be the second fall. James Storm would continue this assault. Even with Tim Storm in the ring, both referees did a fantastic job. Obviously one was an actual referee, the other was a former NWA champion and went for the title on the first episode of NWA Power on YouTube. Tim Storm did a really good job as a referee here. He was very impartial, and he would count the second fall. Nick Aldis hits a small package, the third most devastating move behind the double drop kick and the roll up in professional wrestling today. Nick Aldis hits a small package on the reversal on small package. This is how he would pick up the championship from none other than Cody, the American Nightmare. He hits the reversal on the small package, pinning James Storm's shoulders to the mat. Both guys really want to set off on this third fall, but the rules are written and they must adhere to them. As the third referee flips a coin, messes it up, doesn't catch the coin, puts it back, and it lands on heads, which means Brian Hebner is going to be the referee for the third fall here. Much more even Stevens now with Nick Aldous and James Storm, but a little bit of heelishness coming out from Aldous here, as he would sort of grab the turnbuckle, attempt to try and undo the turnbuckle. James Storm would hit a belly to back suplex, a German suplex on Nick Aldous, who would take the turnbuckle pad off. And as this was happening, Nick Aldous would sort of go into the corner, trying to catch his breath, move out of the way, James Storm hits really hard in this on the turnbuckle, and Aldous puts the Texas Cloverleaf on to a downed and out James Storm. Very well played here. Generally thought he was quite injured. He did hit hard and he did have a welt on his head, and Tim Storm calls the match, calls for the submission. James Storm could not win. Should be explained as well that Brian Hebner did get taken out during the match, and Tim Storm had to jump back in the ring and officiate the last part of this match. After many near falls here and there, James Storm will have a great genuine grievance on the ending of this match, and of course Camille got involved in the first fall as well, distracting Nick Aldis. So we've got a lot of things to happen in the next episode of NWA Power. This pay-per-view I would definitely give a 9 solid out of 10 for everything. There's a couple of very short matches, a couple of roll-ups and things like that. The double drop kick, I love it, but come on, it's 2019. That's not going to put anyone away, especially someone like Bram, or Tom as he is called now. But overall, still champion Nick Aldis. Overall, the pay-per-view is fantastic, but we did not finish there, as Nick Aldis was having his hand raised in victory. Music would hit, the lights would go out, and none other than the leader of Villain Inc. would come down to the ring and make his silent challenge known. Marty Scurll is in NWA, is a British champion. Stu Bennett, of course, was on commentary, taking over from Jim Cornette, who did a fantastic job, and a Brit would come out and challenge for the title as well. I was very proud of this at this moment. I can only imagine that Question Mark was just as proud when he was having his Mongrovian flag ceremony. I was very proud to be a Brit at this point, and a British wrestling fan, having all three of them lined up together. And we go into the next episode of Power with a lot of questions to ask and a lot of answers needed. But what a pay-per-view this was. Into the Fire, get it watched, it was fantastic. If you were disappointed by TLC like I was, then this is definitely your salvation for the weekend. Fantastic from start to finish. Everyone put in a massive effort. Even the Christmas tree managed to stay up until the end of the show. So yeah, brilliant show. Anyway, this has been Cheap Shot Entertainment. I've been your host, Luke. You have been the Cheap Shot Nation. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to know when we upload new content to the channel, and the subscription button to support us in what we do. I feel like we're gaining speed here. I'm gaining momentum in what we are doing, and I'm absolutely loving it at the moment. Don't forget to join us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Give us suggestions for the Naughty Elf's name. We need them before the end of December, or before Christmas ideally, so get those in, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Don't forget to go over to the t-shirt shop, close to order, Cheap Shot Nation, to get your t-shirts and choose your colours. More t-shirts coming in the new year. New Mayhem t-shirt, the old Mayhem t-shirt as well will go on there, the original, and some other sort of WrestleMania, Royal Rumble related stuff as well will go straight on that t-shirt shop. Anyway, that is everything from Into the Fire. I really enjoyed this pay-per-view. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope it's encouraged you to go and watch this pay-per-view, and I will see you next time. Into the fire, dun, 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 dun. Into the fire. Don't forget your waffles and tire